Hello and welcome to On the Kerbs. I'm your host, Team Albers Daily. Joining me for this episode is Nia Sekania. Nia currently works for the Spanish Formula 4 Championship in an administration role, but there's much more to her motorsport career than just that. We caught her recently to chat about her Motorsport Origins in Georgia, how and when Carlos Sainz Sr. came into the picture, how she hustled during Formula E testing in Valencia and the FIA Motorsport Games to get where she is today, and much more. He has a fascinating story so far, and I hope you enjoy our conversation as much as I did. Hi Nia, thank you very much for being here today. First of all, how are you?
Good, thank you. Hello. It was really nice. Like I seen your message and I've seen your stuff on Instagram after I checked you out and I'm really grateful for this offer.
No, I'm happy to be here with you, and that I've got you to come and talk to me about it because you've got a very interesting story that I think should be told. So my pleasure's all mine. First question I like to ask everyone, cliche question, but what first got you interested in motorsport?
That question I get asked so much because it's why motorsport? And it's kind of hard to answer because I was ever since I was a child, I cannot say that it was the first thing that I loved. Like I was really curious and I loved anything fast. And before I thought that I would become like a professional skier or something. Like that was on my only passion and I was like into this. But I pretty much I think was anything that was fast it would like caught my eye and ever since my dad taught me how to drive a car it was like interesting and then I used to watch some of the F1 races with him but I was a kid and I found it really boring at first and then I grew into it like the COVID hit and there was like nothing much going on and I liked channeling, like going through some sports channels, and like in one of the channels, I see the Formula One race, and I'm like, oh gosh, I haven't seen it for so long, and I'm like, oh, what, like, why haven't I been watching this? Then I go deeper and like I watch other races, and I'm like, oh my God, Netflix made the show, so I started watching the show Drive to Survive it as everyone. I was like, oh my God, like that's actually so interesting. And then like finally the COVID got a bit better, so I started going to the go-karting. Like I used to do it when I was a child, but like nothing ever serious. And then I started going back again. And like when I stepped in the car and I won a couple of against my friends, obviously nothing like crazy, I realized that oh my God, like actually like this brings me a lot of joy. Like this could be something that I could be interested. Like that that's it.
2020, you've got a good season of Formula One to come back into and to get your attention because you had a lot
Yeah.
of circuits that year that we hadn't had for a while. You had it kind of jumbled up and it was all stacked in a really short space of time compared to usual. And then, like you say,
Yeah.
with Netflix, you get to go, okay, cool, I've got a couple of years, I can catch up on like what's going on, who's everyone
Yes.
again, and then go from there. So it's good
And then
timing.
and literally then I was like, oh my God, I missed out so much stuff. So I would go to Google search, oh my God, who won around this year and that year? And then I went through like the some of the YouTube videos or something, who was like on top before the times that I missed. And I was like, okay, I want to know what happened before the Drive to Survive. Like what was before was.
It's quite a rabbit hole that you can fall down if you're not careful. It's like it's never just one thing. You're going to keep going and keep going, and then obviously the karting comes off the top of that, and I mean that's just always fun as well. And I wonder before obviously we get into what you are now doing. You say you kind of you enjoyed it, you really liked how you felt doing it. Did you think for a minute of going down the racing driver path, or did you just think I just want to be involved in this world in some way and I don't really mind how it happens?
Uh, I don't think like I really enjoyed it, but I didn't see that I would like go down that road because you need so much like financial background for it that uh I found myself that like it's interesting and I could like work in here. Like I found it as like the job opportunity because I was at the moment that on 2020 I graduated and I started my university first back in Georgia where I'm from. only because it was like still COVID and I was still trying to figure out where I wanted to go. And before I ended up in Madrid actually. So that was the time when I was like, okay, if I like I was in between like, do I really want to study business or like because I wanted to do everything. Like as long as I remember, I wanted to try all the degrees and stuff. So I was like, okay, if I study business, then maybe I could just like go into and like do something about it with the karting, for example, or with the formula or in general. I knew I was like not gonna go for aerodynamics or anything like super crazy, so I think that was like the safe and nice choice.
Yeah, because you say as well, you have the karting on the one hand, but then you have an internship as well with the Georgian Automobile Sport Federation. So tell me a bit about that and how it led you to then wanting to work more in motorsport. Because, like you say before, then you got a bit of everything, but then something about this that made you think, yeah, no, this is definitely the place for me.
Like, to be honest, like that more into deep that I started doing it is when I started doing the motorsports club in my university. Like that was the
Mm.
first hit. Like it was like my first year of university, and like I went to this club fair. Like when you start the university, like every year, like our university has like this club fairs for all the freshers to like see which kind of clubs there are, like if you're aligned with them and you join. And I was going around and I saw all sorts of clubs, but nothing was related to like the automobile industry, motorsport, like nothing like that. So it was first week, so I was talking to the people that I met, like, can we make it on our own? Like, can we do it? And then like I found just two other of my friends from my class who were also interested and they found it like fun to like, let's do it, let's organize it. And it's took us quite a while because we had to convince university that it was not a dangerous sport and it could be done like quite safely and there was gonna be nothing crazy about it. And first year was just like we did three karting races because we got approved in February, so we only managed to do three races and we made like mini championship of like three races. We took like the from Formula One the drive-in standings and then we put it like the same points and stuff and like we made it fun and then by the end of the year we gave like the Red Bull t-shirt to the winner and then next year second year of uni we started to make it like try to make it bigger and it was again like a club fair but at this club fair I was the representative like I was presenting my club and like like telling people they should join and the president of our university comes by and like just drops the craziest fact to us. Oh, by the way, like I was in the school with Carlos Sainz Sr. And we're like, what? He's like, I'm like, you can just talk to me after or like my assistant and like we can arrange something about it. I was like, okay, took a note immediately. I was like, this I have to use. And like
Yeah, you're wondering if there's a practical joke happening at that point because that just comes out of nowhere.
yeah, I'm not expecting anything. Like obviously we want to bring like the race drivers, but it's like we're trying to reach out people on LinkedIn, but it's not like what
It's
like
like
we're
there's race drivers and there's race drivers, and you're getting a big one there.
yeah. And then out of nowhere, like I would never even ask him, not knowing like anything, just drops the fact that oh hey, by the way, like I know Carlos Sainz Sr. Like, oh
You've got to wonder as well if he hadn't turned up that day, would he have mentioned it at all? I don't know, would he have come to see the club in action? Would he have interacted with you at all and mentioned it, or would he have just kept that to himself? It's like the timing is just so random, like you say.
yes, it was like he was going around like the clubs and like say hi to everyone. And then like when he saw our club, it's like, oh, I heard about you. You just opened, right? Like like what year are you guys? And like we're like, oh, like interesting. And then just out of nowhere drops it. Hey, just there. Then it took us like quite a long, like 3, 4 months to like back and forth because we were not the one with the contact. We had to go through all the like the the channel of like first we would ask like our coordinator had to ask someone until we would reach to like the president of the like actually, and then he gave all the contacts to his assistant, and like it was going back and forth. I had to track her down to like elevator. I like jump into the elevator with her like, hey, like we never heard the answer from you, like can you please like let us know. It was a lot of like going to the office, like a lot like please don't forget about us, like this event that really has to happen. And then it was like second semester or something like that. Everything got arranged. Uh, we brought Carlos Sainz, and like the whole like we have this auditorium in the university. It was full. Like it was more than 600 people who attended, and there were like not that many people registered. We didn't open for that long, and then like there were people like at the register like, can you please like let us go in? And then it was like huge success. We took a bunch of pictures. He told like a bunch of like fun stories, and then he was telling the stories of him and our president of the university, like how they were in school and like people were asking questions. It was really fun. And then that summer was that I was like, okay, I need to do something. Like I need to find like internship now. And
Hmm.
I was trying to look for the internships. And since I was going back to Georgia and I was checking everything they have, I saw that like the federation was doing some of the races, and there's not single like team, let's say in Georgia, like they have like the teams. It's more of like everyone kind of individual. There's like really, really small teams, and there's not many racing categories there. So I just straight up messaged president of the Georgian Auto Federation on LinkedIn. He gave me his number and told me as soon as I get to back to Georgia to just meet him, and then from then on we would figure out. So that was how I got there.
I love the confidence there as well. I've dealt with Carlos Sainz now. I can just directly message the president of the Georgian Sport Federation and go, right, we're doing something.
Yeah.
Because if I can do this, this will be straightforward.
Yeah.
So what did you do then as part of the internship? What did that entail then?
Okay, so basically what they told me from the first meeting is that they don't do internships. They don't have such a thing, that they don't have interns
So
at all.
on yet an actual internship.
Yeah, so they were like, but we can offer you that you can try around the different like aspects. And basically what I did was that when there was like because let's say like it's a federation, so federation is always like back with the government and the whole thing. So it's kind of like it has to be like it has to go through with so much things. But when this comes to race weekends, you can always have like private contractors, let's say, or like the other people that you hire just for the weekends. So I was not fully as like written down intern in the like that I had to go to
Hmm.
the office, but I had to attend
Hmm.
every race weekend, and before the race weekend when there was the meetings, and I pretty much went to that summer whole season, all the races they had. They had a rally cross, hill climb rally. Like they don't have full scale rally. They have like the small sections and they do the small championships. And they also drift. It was like the Georgian drift series, and I attended to two of them. And like at one they were missing the journalist. I have nothing to do in that field, but they're like, you said you're up for anything, like would you do it? I said, well, I did say that. So they just give me the microphone, and I was in a live. And I'm like, I've never done such a thing. Like, I don't know what's up. Like, I don't know what I have to do, but I'm like, sure, why not? And I just went with the instincts, and I just remembered all the Drive to Survive series that I watched, like how they like talk to people. I'm like, I have to be like, I have to make it interesting. So I would go like, there would be a guy like with a turned like car was like upside down, like trying to fix the car because they have like 5 minutes before the race, and I'm like, what do you think? Like, will your car last to the next race? And they're like, no, it's not the right time. Leave us alone. But like, like midway, like I did figure out because like I started a bit nervous, and then like the head of the TV, like people from the TV, like they came and they were like, okay, yeah, like First of all, you hold the like microphone really badly. So it's like in the camera, you should not hold it like that. Like I didn't even have like briefing on like what I had to do it before.
They
It just
just gave it to you and told
wait
you to
and
go.
like go talk. Then they say like okay, like you have to move your like shoulder in a way, and then you have to hold it a certain way because like the angle in the camera will look different. I had no idea. Then I learned. Then I realized what I was doing because then, like on the breaks, I could see also like the not
Hmm.
on the breaks,
You
but
have a
when it
chance
was
to look
race
back at
going
it,
on, like
yeah.
I could see like in the YouTube like what they were talking about because I would like go back to the YouTube and then one, two, three question, and then like after the breaks, it came to me like I could already know like what I had to, so I just went for it. Then for the rest of the races, I was most of the times with the marshals and helping the raceman, like race director. And most of the times I was assistant of the race director, and they were explaining how everything worked, and I had to write down all the details and timings and like some really small details. That was like field work internship, let's say. It was like fully out there. I had to experience everything, and in terms of like the most hands-on experience I had was from that internship for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a very practical, hands-on, you're doing everything because you said you'd be up for anything, so we'll make you do everything sort of internship. But it'd be a great experience though, because going into stuff that we'll talk about later with the role that you're in now, for example, I suppose you feel a little more confident, even if you're not an expert at something, because you've been forced into a position where you've just got to do everything and
Yeah.
with no preparation or anything like that, and you've just got to find a way to make it work. So I suppose as daunting as that might have been at the time, you, correct me if I'm wrong, but are you feeling a bit more confident when that sort of situation happens now because you've done it all before?
Yeah, definitely. Because after that, I had one more internship, and then like the one that I have right now, and the one before was completely opposite of what I imagined, because I was so much experience into like that, like, and
Hmm.
also like the Georgian Auto Federation was like still is like my go-to if I have any questions or anything because like I became like super close with the president and everyone working there, and since like Georgia is really small, it's like a little family, so they are always there to
Hmm.
help you out if they have anything. For example, like last year it was FIA Motorsports Games in Valencia.
Hmm.
uh I had no idea if I could like work or anything. And president like of that federation, like he calls me, says like, you live in Spain, like don't you want to have like experience on the weekend? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, yeah, like I've heard that they're looking for volunteers for the motorsports games, and I could just refer you, like fill out the application and everything, but like I let them know that like you worked for us before.
Hmm. Give you a reference.
Give you a reference, and boom, like out of nowhere again, like I just had like I get like, oh, congratulations, we'll tell you more in details, like where are you staying, what is gonna go, what's gonna be your duties. It's, so it feels
But
like the Georgian Auto Federation is like my family when like, okay, what can I do now? Like, do you have anything else? And they're just like there.
I feel like the theme so far is just random events keep happening at just the right time, and you just in the perfect position to take advantage of it, and you have the love and the passion for it to make it work, like you say. Um, I think that's the side of motorsport we don't see too often is these smaller countries, the smaller federations. You don't know that much about them, especially if there's not a high-profile driver that's in. I mean, you could have a high-profile driver, but if they're not in the right category, depending on where it's viewed, it's not going to get the same exposure. So to see that tight-knit community that a lot of motorsport series is known for, then also is the case when it's the official body as well, and they keep helping you out now. And even though like it's been a while since you've done that internship, quote unquote, but then they keep going and going, oh, this might be of interest to you, or if you needed something, you could go to them. And I really like that. And you were saying that you did the the other internship, which was completely different from that. Is that the one that you did with RGB Racing? And if so,
Yes.
tell me about that and how is that completely different?
Okay, RGB Racing, I, to be honest, didn't know it existed before. Like, I was looking for some of the possible internships, but if you go look for like LinkedIn anywhere, you pretty much won't see anything like anything popping up in the motorsports industry in Spain. I never do. And one of the alumni of our university would constantly attend of my karting championships.
Okay.
And because like in our university, like alumni are really close and they check the our uh, we have this website called iConnect where we pretty much post all of our events, like every club from the university, and one of the alumni attended the races, and he told me in the speaking that he knew the owner of the RGB racing team, and if I ever wanted to do collaboration for the university, um, he could like help me out. So I met him, and then I got the contact. And initially, we wanted to make the Formula student team for our university, but there were some complications because our university is not really that technical. Like we do business degrees, but there's nothing about engineering or anything like that. And
You'd
either
have a
we have,
great business plan, but the car wouldn't be there.
yeah, like we would be so only pretty much solutions that if you join the other university, but it's not like uh, really like so. I think it's still going on, but basically, I was trying to like after that, I was like, okay, summer is coming up, and I have this 6 month like in my university where I can do 6 months internship. So I'm like, what can I do? So I was like, oh, like I already have a contact of the RGB. Let me like convince them that they should hire me. So I go to their like office and I talk to them, and the same answer, they don't have internships at all.
Mm.
Like they showed me some other like options that I could have done, but like still like it was not really working. And then after a bunch of talking, they said, okay, sure, you can work with us, but like they were like, just so you know, there's not gonna be much going on because they only race in the Porsche Iberian Cup,
Mm.
and pretty much they wanted to move to Super Cup and everything like that. But so far it was like really work in process, and everyone in the RGP racing team works in several different teams, so it's not like it's their only sole position. And even if we were working in a team, like you would see that half of the time, half of the team was like uh on completely end of the world because they were also in other racing teams. So it was like I was the only me and like mechanics and accountant was was the only one in the office constantly. The rest were like moving around all the time. I had to like I learned a lot because they showed me how they do analytics of their like races, like the tools and what they use in Porsche. But Porsche has like this amazing like analytics, like also platform where you analyze all the car and see everything. Uh, and there was like not much for me to do, so I was trying to always find the thing that I could do. And they wanted to bring more students because they were starting this new master's, like hands-on master's degree for next year. So I organized this event with other universities, brought the Formula student team from uh, like two, three universities, and they had this hands-on experience, so everything, because after they're done, like they're all interested to do masters related to this, so they like we showed how like we do specifically for the motorsports and how they can like grow from there. That was like pretty much my biggest achievement with them. There was other like I was working with the sponsorships. I was trying to get the sponsors if we would go to Super Cup, but in the end it got postponed for next year because we like some timings, some logistics were really not working out. Uh, I did manage to get like the two sponsors, but since like the project never in the end happened, it was nothing that really went through. So that's when I was thinking that like I was a bit like down in the moment. Like I like next year I'm graduating and I haven't done like anything like crazy with them, and I thought that like I didn't achieve what I had to do. But that's when out of nowhere I also got the offer of the FIA Motorsports Games. So then
Mm,
during the internship, like one of the weekends I went to go there, and when I was in place there, I had to meet so many people, so many different backgrounds because the FIA Motorsports game is huge. Like it was so exciting. Every second there was like a different race going on. Everyone was moving around. You could see like so many different cars, so many things happening at the same time. It was like the most exciting weekend of all. Like I had to do like all sorts of stuff. We like sometimes we had to stay in the karting slalom and like help the marshals out and like see like if they you had to like really look and see if the karting drivers like moved inch more or like less and like this
mm.
details was really fun, and that's when like my spirit came back. I was like, okay, no, it was not for nothing. Because like in the heart of like I don't even remember like how many, but it was like thousands different drivers from different regions, and it was like crazy.
It sounds like, as frustrating as it was that you weren't able to, and not necessarily through any fault of your own, just through circumstance, get the most out of that internship that you wanted. It's also a good lesson in a way because sometimes that does just happen, especially in motorsport. Everything can be perfectly lined up, but then it's just timing or logistics or something that throws it off, and there is nothing more you can do about it. But I again like the time that you had with the motorsport games to give you that boost and to expose you to this whole other element of it. It's kind of like if you had everything with the Georgian Federation, then you had, like you say, complete opposites on the other side of it with this other internship, and then you have that bit in the middle, maybe where you get a bit of everything. So it's a really nice rounded approach there. And I'm just thinking when you're talking there, but you don't do anything small, do you? You kind of come in somewhere and you try and get the most out of it, and you do kind of like create a massive project out of it and deliver in one way or another. And I think that's a really fun asset for you to have, where you just kind of go in. And I think maybe because of the influence of the Carlos Sainz thing, maybe that was this is still pushing you forward. But going, oh,
Maybe.
if I can get this, if I
And
can make
what
this
was
happen out of nowhere, then
what
everything
was
else.
even funny enough that in the motorsports games, I met Carlos Sainz Sr.'s brother. Like he was also competing there, and I had like I saw him, and I was like, okay, I have to go up to him, and I met him personally. I said that, oh, by the way, we had your brother last year in our
Hmm.
university. Like it was so like I don't know, like I was like, okay, remember like reminding me of like what I like already done, and then like he was there, and like I was like, okay.
You can
I
measure your career in milestones with different members of the Science family. You're going to have to get a bingo card and like, right, I've got to get Junior now, maybe the cousin as well, and just try and get them as you go along.
Yes, exactly. Like with the it was Antonio Saiz, like Carlos Sainz Sr.'s
Mm.
brother, and I'm like, okay, if I'll be confident enough, I can just go up to him and have a like serious like talk. So I'm like, okay, like of course I can do it. I just go up and like, hey, like nice race. By the way, like I've met your brother before, and it's like we had like this really like fun like small like conversation, and he made like the jokes that probably we preferred like his niece to be there and not like his father, like not the Carlos, but like Carlos
Yeah,
Jr. And it was like a really fun chit chat. Like it was really amazing guy.
I like that. It kind of brings it not full circle, but again, like I say, it's the next signs that you've collected on your journey there.
Yeah.
Um, you're now working for the Spanish F4 Championship. So
Yes.
how did that come about, and what does this role entail? Because again, it feels like it's again slightly different from everything else you've done, but
Yeah.
also
I just
builds on it again.
moving around all the time. Like I'm just thinking like,
You're doing what you said earlier. You're trying a bit of everything.
yes. Okay, here. What happened was that like that summer when I was working with RGB, I realized that I had to like push myself like more and everything. So I was like really into LinkedIn, like trying out, like reaching out a lot of people. And that's when like the some ideas were like building for me. So like I was like next year when we have like the when the university starts, we're gonna add another series, like not the karting championship only, but we added pit stop series. So in pit stop
Mm.
series, we're bringing like the people from the motorsports industry, and we would do like pretty much the same thing that we're doing right now, like the interview, but it's like bunch of people. So like the students would be like also encouraged. And we did like the two amazing sessions. We brought Russell Howard like from the race
Mm.
stuff from UK, and like it was really amazing. And then like I'm like reaching out more people on LinkedIn, and I'm sitting in my work. It was like around October or like already November, and I overhear people talking about that yeah, Formula E preseason testing was moved to Madrid because normally it was supposed to be in Valencia, but for the unfortunate reason that like the tragedy that happened in Valencia, they had to move this to Madrid. And I was like, oh my God, bingo, like my opportunity. I have to go to the
Mm.
LinkedIn now. That evening, I searched the entire LinkedIn out of trying to like find like the perfect person that would like answer me. Like I already understood like a bit of like who answers me and who does not, and a bit like okay, if I reach out someone who is Spanish and from Madrid and like is working there, is more likely that like answers to someone like this. So I like okay, who? And I found this guy who used to Alvaro, who worked in the host cities department, and I reached out to him. He answered like in the same evening. I was like so shocked because I reached out like
Jackpot.
three other people and no one answered, but he did. And then I asked like if I could like come and like talk to him because I was like in a bit of like where do I go next? And since like I've seen his career like moving from like he used to work in Formula 4 and then moved to Formula E. So I was like, I need to talk to you. He says like, sure, like just come to the preseason testing tomorrow. You can just come anytime and like call me and then like you can like come
Bingo.
and see the testing. I said, sure. Next day I just like go all the way there. I had to take like two different buses or something to reach because it's not really like close, it's
There's,
outside.
there's always a way longer route to get to these tracks than it should be, isn't there? Unless you drive,
Yes.
it's always like a train, a bus, a taxi, or two buses and a train, or whatever. It's never
Yeah.
just straight.
Yes. And I go and I meet and we started to have a conversation. I did tell him like a bit of my background, what I do, and like the important fact that I'm a still student. So like what like UK has, for example, that like the placement years where it's like a perfect opportunity and all the formula teams in general offer the placement year like the internships where like if you do good then you like hold back when you're done. But in my case, I only have 6 months, and all the placements, it's like placement year, like 12 months, like you're working. So I couldn't have done anything like that. I had to find something in Madrid. So that's when he was like, okay, like I have a perfect opportunity for you because he was like, you're a student, like just for the internship, no one's gonna hire you in UK, like no one's gonna like go into the length of like for the intern to do whole work visa and everything.
Hmm.
So just let's stay in Madrid. And then he told me that like he could call his old co-workers in Formula 4 and see if they have anything available and would let me know within like a day or two. I said
Hmm.
like amazing. Like he like told me like what I could have done and like what I can do and like how like he loves like when the person like actually goes there and ask for the stuff. So he was like, he would definitely help me out. And then after that, I was just there, like watching like the testings, and I was like amazed. It was my first time like hearing like the Formula E car and how like different it sounds. And it
So
was
such a
so like
different sound, isn't it, when you hear it in person?
yeah, so much different. I was like, wow, like that was really crazy to me. Then I go back home. Like I'm on my way home. Like I haven't even left. Like
You're
I'm
still on
like
the bus to get to the next bus to get home.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in the middle of the bus when I get the call from like Alvaro again saying, okay, so I called already to my old coworker who I hired. By the way, here's the number. Just text him, say it's from me, and then like he'll let you know what's up from there on. I said, sure. Of course, first thing I do, even from the bus, is say, hi. Like Alvaro told me about like to text you. He says, okay. Here's the thing, he tells me, we're starting preseason testing in 2 weeks, and we have like four testings. Says if you come to these testings, this is the perfect opportunity to talk to the teams, and it's like the way chill environment, and this is the time where you can like pitch yourself to the teams. You can go box to box to the teams and talk to them, and you'll see definitely someone. Because he said if you come to the races, it's not the same because at the race it's like they're all focused on the race, no one cares about you. It's like it can be like way harsh because they're focused on their
Hmm.
race.
It's nothing
So I
personal. It's just they've got a race weekend to focus on. They're not going
yeah,
to care
like
about
there's
anything other
nothing
than what's
personal.
happening.
Exactly. So I saw the calendar and I saw that I did have one of the exams, and then like after that I was starting university again. So there was only this one weekend that I could go,
Yes.
but it was in Portimao. Like I had to drive, I had to get to Portimao from Madrid.
That's going to be more than two buses.
Yeah, okay, no, yeah, that was long. Like I saw, like if I would get a plane, even to get to the like location to the track, then I will need like different buses or like there was like nothing really going there. So I'm like, okay, if I fly there, then I would still most likely to be convenient. I have to have a car. But if I do that, I'm like, okay, what if like I'm still a student, I'm not getting paid that much on internship at all. Like I have to figure it out. So I saw that I was like, okay, I can drive probably 7 hours, right? But I'm like, okay, it says 7 hours in the Google Maps, but probably it will be like even more. But I said, okay, it doesn't matter. I can do this. And I rented a car. I asked my friend if he could come with me because I talked to my parents, and my parents were like, "You're crazy! Like you're not driving all the way to Portimao like alone. Like at
Jesus.
least take someone. Like don't go alone. Like driving alone.
Hmm.
Like it's like you'll end up at least night at driving." So I said, "Okay, like you're right." So I asked my friend who, thank God, came with me because it would be like a really, really long drive alone. And it was a long road trip. It was like 8 hour drive. We got there, we were exhausted, and next day I was like, okay, we need to sleep now. I have to wake up super early because the testing starts really early in the morning. They're done by midday, they're all done. So I had to be there really early. I got there, I met the person in contact, like who is my boss now, Javier, and then he was like, I pitched him myself too, and he was like, "Leave me your CV." Like I printed out like 30 page like of my CV, so I was like, "I'm going there. Like I have
You
to
were,
give him
well, you were
something."
driving all that way. You better have been prepared after all of that to
Yeah,
have what you need. Damn, I forgot it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I left one CV to Javier, and then he was like, "Okay, now see all these boxes. They're all the teams, all yours. Go one by one and try your luck." I was like, okay. I took a water, I took a breath, and I was like, okay. I started knocking one by one and by one, and I went to every single team. I left the CV, every single one of them. But it was like some teams were not exactly from Madrid, so they were not interested in me. They were like, oh my God. Some of them were like, I'm so sorry. Like, we literally just hired someone like that already, an intern. Then another one said the same. Then a couple of them said, like, okay, interesting. We'll see about that. Like, contact us in like later. We'll let you know. Uh, one of them was Campos, and I really wanted to work in Campos because they're like the biggest team. They are in F4, F3, F2. So I was like, I
Hmm.
really want to be there.
And
And they were
Spanish
like,
as well, so it would have been perfect for you with where you
yeah.
were anyway.
But they were like, we're from Valencia. We work from Valencia. Like, you study in
Hmm.
Madrid. Are you sure that, like, why don't you go to the teams that are in Madrid? And I'm like, yes, I do want to go to the teams from Madrid, but like, your name is like
You're
so
also
far.
Campos.
Like, can I be with you? And they were like, yeah, just get back with us. Like, I'll keep your CV, like, email. Like, so I got all the emails, all the contacts of most of the people there. And I got back home pretty happy knowing that like out of all that teams, I had like four of them that were like that said yes, kind of. then I met one of the teams before I went back to Georgia for the break, winter break. Uh, they were like not really sure because they were like working on the budget, so they would let me know when from January if it would like fit in their budget for them to hire me. But meanwhile, I got a call from Javier, like who is head of administration and logistics in our like in Formula 4, saying that if I would be interested to work in administrations. And why would I say no? Like,
Well, exactly.
why would I say no? Like, I had to start somewhere. And him himself went, did the same thing 2 years before me, went to like the preseason testing, talked to Alvaro, like the guy that I was working in
Hmm.
Formula E at the point, and like straight up told him, like, please, like, I need to work. And then he started work in spare parts and is now head of like administration and the logistics. So I was like, that's a quite a like a road. So like I like that. So I said yes. I'm like I would gladly take the opportunity. But now I had to talk to the CEO of the company, and then I had an interview with him, and it went amazing.
Well,
And
spoilers, you have the job, so I figured
yeah,
it was going to go well.
I started working last like this March, so
Mhm.
it's like amateur, like quite a lot of months there working. Yeah. And it's been like really nice because my it's not really that they you have to be anywhere in the office. I pretty much work online. Like when you are talking with like the small like the teams, it's and like this Formula 4, like it's not really like Formula 1. It's kind of like the let's say office is on a four wheels kind of like it moves
Yeah.
around. They have the races like throughout the whole year. They're like everywhere. So they're like small team. So it's like you're moving around a lot. So since I'm a student and I got the administrational job, pretty much I can be in Madrid most of the times. And when there's like the really important meetings and stuff, I always like it's in Madrid, so I can attend, I can go to the office. And I unfortunately I cannot attend to all the races since I'm still a student and I'm graduating this July. But it's been like amazing because I've went to some races now. Like obviously, like I had to. I went to Paul Ricard. It was amazing track, so nice. Then I got to meet like other team members because it was always
Hmm.
online and first time like in
You'll see them
person.
properly in person, yeah.
Yeah. And then we did this event with the motorsport. Like I'm like this year I decided to step back from the motorsports club because I did build it, but like it can like someone can take over because
Hmm.
when I graduated, someone
They'd
will
have
take
to at some
over.
point anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. And to focus more of like now I have to work on my thesis. I have so like I'm like part-time working and the university, so I'm of like okay, but I still wanted to do one last like two last events because I did one and there's another one soon. And one last event was collaboration with Formula 4. I invited a bunch of students to come to see the race, and they got a chance to see how everything is going on, see the spare parts department, see like the tires, tire fitting. They went to race control room, race manager explained how everything works. We went to media room, we went everywhere. We went to the one of the teams, and they had like the full on like the explanation on how everything works, like the car. And it was really nice, like wholesome weekend of like letting go of the motorsports club and like like showing them like what I'm doing right now.
So you doing for them what other people have done for you in the past, it's which is essentially part of what I'm guessing the purpose of setting that club was in the first place. And it's that feels like a full circle moment for you because like you say, you're handing it off to the next person and they
Yeah.
have quite big shoes to fill because you've set quite a high standard. Um, but you also then got to go look and you can get to these places and work in these roles because you have literally gone and done that yourself. So you're the perfect kind of example for them to see that they can do it too.
Yes, yes, exactly. And then we have this another last event that I'm also part of. Is that last year this another university club initiated to make the sports business summit in our university to bring the professionals to like talk about the sports industry because we have pretty established like consulting firms and everything that comes and everyone pretty much goes to the corporate world and this other club joined with our club had the same vision of like you can go to sports too, like it's not only that you go to corporate world. So we joined forces and made last year first sports business summit, and like it was really amazing like moment. Like we had people from Dazn, Formula 4, golf, and like we had really nice like panels. Everyone like loved it. So obviously like that's the thing that I love. I had to do it one more time, so I'm not really done. Like in February we have a second summit. Like in February 17th. So that's gonna be like my last event that I'm doing with
You're
the
leaving very slowly.
yeah. Like besides that, I'm not even part of what is going on right now. It's
Mm.
just the summit was always kind of like separate, so I stayed and like I'm because I'm still in the path of like what is my future, where am I going exactly, like how what is my next steps. And this is like the moment where you meet all the people like you want to reach like more like higher people, like invite them to come to university, like speak to others, but at the same time it's like inspires you so much. So it was like the thing that would really, really, really benefit not only me, but everyone who is like finishing the university and like trying to see where they're going. So I saw this like that I had to be part of this.
Well, definitely. And I think exactly the right way to go about that. And I'm curious, and do you know what your ambitions are for the future? You obviously saw what was possible in a situation with the person who last had your role and how things went for them. Are you looking at the same thing? Are you looking at something else? Is there something else that you haven't tried yet somehow
Yeah.
that you'd like to do? Or what are you thinking on that one?
Yeah. So like now I'm in the transition moment where I'm like fully like I'm I'm love what I'm doing in my position right now, but like what comes like next after this when I graduate, like where I
Hmm.
go full.
I'm still figuring it out, but I think you've got well, you've got plenty of options, and I think you've definitely done plenty already up to now to give you an idea of what you like and what you don't like at the very least. So I'll be intrigued to see where you go, but I'm not going to make any predictions because I think that's the bit that no one will be able to guess because everything just seems random. It's all connected, but you've got no idea where you're going next.
Yeah.
Um, what advice then would you give to someone who, a bit like you when you were first starting out, wanted to be involved in motorsport but aren't sure where to start? I guess it's you knock down as many doors as you can. Is that maybe the advice you would give?
Yes, literally like one on one, like just go for it. Like I know everyone says like just go for it. And when they would tell me that, I was like, what do you mean just go for it? Like you cannot like where do I go? And that's the thing,
Well,
like
you
you
seem to
have
have a knack of finding the right person to talk to. You
yeah.
hunt them down online, and you think, is this likely the person? You've somehow found a system now where you know who's going to
Yeah,
be good
like
to talk
you
to.
have to try. Like not everyone accepted my LinkedIn. Like not
Hmm.
everyone like all connected to me. Not everyone answered me when I like reached them out. And there was a times when I was like, okay, I give up. Like I was like, I don't want to give up. I cannot give up. I'm like, I cannot be giving
Give up
up.
for
But
today. Try again tomorrow.
yeah, I would go a bit differently. Like I was like, okay, maybe I just go to car manufacturing companies in general. Like let's not go to the motorsport for a bit. Like let's choose a bit different path for a bit. There's like so many like I would go and see like their experiences like on LinkedIn, like how did they get there? Like what did they do? Like but there would be like interesting cases when they had nothing to then they ended up in the motorsport. So I was like I was all lost. So what I would say is just like try to reach out to people, ask as many questions as you want until you find out like which one, because you might be asking questions and you get like more lost, and you might be not even sure like what you want to ask, but and like unless you start asking questions and like uh asking a lot of people and seeing like all the like the possibilities that you can have, you won't like really reach anything. Like for me, the case was that like asking a lot of people a lot of questions, and of course like a lot everyone like the jobs also, but this like different perspectives, this was like different answers that I got from different people was when like a bit changed like the route or like how I reach to people or like approach different like things.
You also got fortunate as well with finding people that were willing to talk to you to help you. And I think sometimes, not saying that everyone is like that, but you can come across people who, like we were saying earlier, if it's a race weekend, they'll just ignore you, but they don't mean anything by it, or you'll just get someone where you don't know what's going on, and maybe they say they'll reply, they don't reply, and they're not thinking the same thing as you, where you chase them into a lift to make sure that you can get a meeting down. And that can dishearten them sometimes, and I think that makes it more difficult. Whereas you go, oh, I really want to give up, but you wanted a solution more, and you just go, okay, maybe today I'll give up for now, but then tomorrow I'll think of a different way of going about it, and I'll try that instead.
Yeah, it seems that I always went for it, but I swear like even when I was in the motorsports games, there was the times when I was like I would step one foot forward, like, okay, I'm gonna talk to him, and then like, no, 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 like I was turn and I like make a circles, like I cannot do this, like no, no, like I like because in the moment I'll be like, what if my questions are dumb? Like I don't know what, like I don't know how to approach because you cannot always go and ask like, oh, can you get me a job or like, is there anything like
Yeah.
you have to have some kind of a connection before you do anything like that. So I would be like okay, like contemplating a lot before I would actually make a move. But then like I was like, okay, what I'm like, if I don't do it, like then what? Like I'm
Mm.
just gonna go and regret it, no? So I would like push myself after of like sometimes going and like circling around for 10 minutes, like trying to figure out. I was like, okay, no, no, like I'm losing the moment. So he's gonna leave and I'll never have a chance to talk to.
And so you got there in the end, and that's the main thing. Um, my final question for you then is, you've mentioned a few of the people that you met along the way so far, who people listening, watching might not know unless you work in the industry or they're one of your colleagues, you know. So I was wondering, who are some, for you, the unsung heroes in the motorsport world behind the scenes that more people should know about?
That's like interesting question and really hard. Like it's like really, really like I'll not say like one because every one of them that I reached out and who actually answered me gave me like really, really, really valuable insights. And I would say like I cannot really choose because it's really hard because all of them had like their own push like that they gave me and that uh they're like in a different way like that they people should know. Because for example, like the one from the Georgian, like the president of Georgian automobile industry, he does everything possible to put all the drivers from Georgia in any international competition as possible. Like tries all the young people to like somehow tries to find the funding, try like because it's not that popular in Georgia and it's like it's really expensive too. So it's like tries to push this like people everywhere. So it will be like one of my heroes, like out of nowhere, like trying to push all the time, like everyone, like even for me, I'm not a driver, but he would like if he sees the opportunity, he always like texts me to say, okay, see Nia, like there's opportunity, you should go for it. And then there's also my boss who's like helping me without everything, explaining every detail. Like even when I'm doing some things for the university, like gives me all the ideas sometimes and says like, oh, you should definitely invite this person. Like it would be so valuable. So I don't know, like Javier Valenzuela, like my boss right now, really, really like nice person who guide me here, like and has like we've had amazing working experience, and I would say the Sandro Lomadze, the president of the Georgian Auto Federation.
There's anyone else, you can always send me a list later and I'll just tag them when this goes out and they'll just give them a lot of attention as well. But
Okay.
yeah, like you say, with those two, it's, it's that it's that keep pushing it forward is the connection between the two of them, like you say, regardless if it's on track or off, they're like, oh, if I can help, I'll find a way to do it. And why not? Because again, someone I'm guessing has done it for them as well, and they want to keep pushing forward. And that's already happened with you when you've been bringing the students along to have a look in the race control room and see how everything is. You're already pushing that forward, and it just keeps that positive momentum.
Yes.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, Nia. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to chat, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you go next with
Thank you so much.
everything, quite frankly, because I have no idea where it's going to be, but it's going to be interesting. I know that much.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you again to Nia for taking the time to chat. Wishing the best of luck for the rest of 2025 and beyond. If you want to follow Nia's career, follow her on LinkedIn at Nia Sekania. Further details, as well as where to find more of me, can be found in the description of this episode. In the meantime, I'll be back soon with another interview with someone from the world of motorsport. Until then, thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.